Thanks, Brandon. Well, during the State of the Union Tuesday night, President Biden addressed the impact that Russia's invasion of Ukraine has made from a global perspective. 23 ABC's Brianna Polk shows more about how the Ukraine crisis has also heavily affected inflation and how Biden's plans to enforce economic sanctions.
But we also have not seen this type of aggression from a European country since World War II.
Dr. Dirk Horn, Senior Lecturer in Political Science at CSUB, believes President Biden's remarks on the U.S. not getting involved in the war of Ukraine was the right move to make, as both Russia and the U.S. have nuclear power.
It's correct of President Biden to emphasize that the United States is not getting involved in the war in Ukraine. Ukraine is not a NATO ally as of yet.
Biden says that the NATO alliance was created to secure peace and stability in Europe after World War II and emphasizes the importance of American diplomacy and resolve. Horn adds that the U.S. forces not engaging in conflict with Russian forces coincides with the NATO allies.
That's the right move in terms of supporting our NATO allies. Being part of a security alliance means that you have to bear the cost of that security alliance. There is Article 5 in the NATO Charter that basically says that an attack on one is an attack on all. That's only been invoked one time in the history of NATO. That's after 9/11.
Horn tells 23 ABC that inflation is also a result of this crisis and that it is something that cannot be altered in a quick manner. Biden stated that the Russian stock market has lost 40% of its value and trading remains suspended.
With the Ukraine crisis, the price of oil is going to go higher as well. So inflation is not going to go away overnight, right? There are steps that the central bank, the Federal Reserve, can take.
Biden says that Putin is now isolated from the world more than he has ever been. He adds that together, along with allies, the U.S. is enforcing powerful economic sanctions and is cutting off Russia's largest banks from the international financial system. Horn adds that while there might be workarounds, he doesn't foresee this happening anytime soon.
This is unprecedented levels of sanctions, and it's swift and fast. The fact that their central bank is basically frozen from doing business on the international market. Their businesses are frozen from accepting payments through the SWIFT system. There are other methods and there are other workarounds, and I'm sure that they will find them, but that takes a while to figure out.
In Bakersfield, Brianna Polk, 23 ABC News, connecting you.